It is Monday of reading week, and that means it's time to start studying for finals. Now, for those of you who don't know what reading week is, it's basically a Thanksgiving break where you spend the entire time reading and studying for finals. Oh, also, it's not a week long. Reading week technically only lasts until Wednesday. Luckily for me though, my first final isn't until Friday. Now, 4 days to study for a final doesn't seem like a lot of time, but if you watched my video on my midterms for this semester, link in the description, you'll know that this is something that I do fairly regularly, but I still have a lot of work to do before my contracts final on Friday. Right now, I have the outline that I used for my midterm, but it's kind of shit. I mean, at that point in the semester, we'd only gone over about a third of the material that we were covering for the whole semester, so obviously it's missing a lot of pieces. So my plan for today is to make my contracts outline. So let's get to it. I spent the next couple of hours going through my old notes and I ended up making this outline. The next morning I walked over to campus for one last review session before the final. Alright, I am back from the review session. Time to finish up that outline and actually get to studying. Alright, it is Wednesday morning, and as you can tell by how I look, I was up kind of late last night studying, but today I'm going to take a practice final. My professor sent out a practice final that has some multiple choice questions and a practice essay with answers for everything. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Typically I don't do stuff like this, but everybody seems to think that it really helps, so may as well give it a try, see if I like it. Let's go. Alright, it is about 3 o'clock. The glare from my window is going crazy. I just finished up the practice final. I'm on my third coffee of the day, and yeah, I reviewed it. I did fairly well, missed one of the multiple choice questions, and the essays were very close to what the professor had written. I'm going to work on my outline a little bit more, refine a couple of things for the next hour or so, and then I'm actually going to go and meet, well, actually I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to meet with some friends over Zoom for a small study session, and we're going to compare notes on how we did with the practice final. But while all of that is going on, I'm also going to be watching the high school football team that I coach for play in the state championship game. They are playing back home in our home stadium in about 10 minutes from now. And yeah, I couldn't be more proud of the guys. I wish that I could be there to support them, to support you guys for any of you that are watching. But as you can see, it is crunch time, and I couldn't make the flight back. My team ended up losing, so I spent the rest of the night drinking while I studied, but I had one last review session with some of my friends before it was finally the day of the final. Friday morning, time for that first final. Let's go kill it. And exam 1 is done. Contracts is out of the way. I don't have to worry about it, don't have to think about it for a while. And now, as you can probably tell, I'm pretty exhausted. I'm going to rest up for the rest of the day, because taking a 3.5-hour exam takes a lot out of you. I don't know how many of you have ever taken an exam that long outside of your SATs, but it is draining. So before I get started prepping for my next exam, Torts, which is on Tuesday, I'm going to recover a bit, think about what I could have done better, what I did well, and make a plan for preparing for my final 2 exams. For now though, it's time to recover. And by recover, I mean go out to the bars in Scottsdale until 2 a.m. because one of our buddies had his birthday. Quick update, it is currently Sunday. Saturday, yesterday, I worked on a rough draft of my outline for Torts that is almost done. I don't know why I said that. I didn't make my own outline. I literally just took an outline from one of the clubs that I'm in, but whatever works. But today I was going to do the majority of my studying, polish up that outline, and do a review session with one of my friends. But Currently, I have an ocular migraine, which means that I have a headache or migraine that's so bad that I cannot see. I'm already blind in my right eye, and this happens every once in a while to my left eye, my good eye. This means that I can't really do anything for the next couple of hours. I already took some ibuprofen, and I'm going to lay down and just pass out for the next 4 or 5 hours, and hopefully I can get some studying done tonight. If not, I might be going into this final unprepared or underprepared, but we'll see. I'm sure I'll be fine, but yeah, I'm in a bad spot right now.
Luckily, a couple of hours later, I was feeling well enough where my buddy Joseph could come over and we could spend a couple of hours reviewing everything that we need to for the final. We ended up going over that outline that I showed you guys, and it was extremely helpful. After that, we crashed out, and the next morning we went back to campus for one last review session with our friend Mark.
Alright, it is Monday afternoon, and my Torts final is tomorrow morning. As you saw yesterday, I didn't get a ton of work done. I had the one review session with Joseph, but other than that, I got nothing done. And today, all I did was that review session with some of my friends, and now I'm going to sit down and review some of the outlines and do a couple of practice problems for the next about hour and a half, 2 hours. Then I'm going to rest up, make sure that I'm good to go into the final. This one I'm going into a little bit more unprepared than my contracts final, but they can't really be helped. I didn't have as much time for this one, and also I was dealing with those migraines, so yeah. But let's get to work. All right, Tuesday morning, time for the Torts final. Let's get after it. And my second final is done. Torts went all right. I ended up getting a migraine partway through and actually could barely read by the time that I got to the last essay problem, so I didn't write that much for it, but I did a lot for the ones before it, so I think that'll make up for it. At least I'm hoping that it will. For right now, I'm still dealing with that headache a bit, so I'm going to finish up this iced coffee, and then I am going to rest up for the rest of the day because it is a very short turnaround for my last final. I have tomorrow and Thursday to prepare for my civil procedure final on Friday. So yeah, I have 2 days and I haven't done anything for it. So yeah, wish me luck.
Surprisingly, I was able to get a lot of prep work done because Joseph came over on Wednesday and we spent the entire day putting together some outlines. The next morning, we drove into the city so that way we could run some errands, namely for me, grabbing stuff for the party. Then we went back to campus to do our typical review session with our buddy Mark. We went over a final, and look how empty the school is.
It is Thursday night. My last final is early tomorrow morning, and I am exhausted. I feel fairly well prepared for it, and I also feel extremely underprepared for the party that I'm throwing afterwards. But right now, I'm just dead tired and thinking about how insane it is that all of this is almost over already. So yeah, I am going to do one final review, make sure I have everything in my head, and then get to sleep because tomorrow is going to be a very, very busy day. All right, Friday morning, time for that last final. Let's go.
And the finals are done. You know I had to celebrate with a drink.
All right, I am done. Final is out of the way. I feel like I did fairly well on all three of my finals, particularly given the way that law school finals and exams are graded, but I'll go over that in another video, probably the video where I get my grades back if I do one of those. But yeah, I think I did pretty well, despite some of the issues that I went through with prepping, my under preparation, and all of that stuff, as you all saw. But yeah, right now I am elated that it's done, but also a little sad that everything's all over. And it kind of hasn't fully sunk in yet. but that's to be expected. It just happened. One thing that I need to do right now though is I need to take a breath and meditate and recover for a minute. So I'm about to do that because I have a lot of work still left to do, because even though finals are done, like I mentioned, I am throwing an end of the semester party, and it is going to be pretty big from what I've seen. So yeah, I need to clean up my entire place. I need to make sure that I have alcohol. I need to take care of a lot. But before that, I need to take a break and let my brain recover. I just chugged some coffee, went and had that drink. So hopefully I'll be good by the time that the party starts in 4 hours. Oh my gosh. All right, I will see you all then.
I managed to get the place all cleaned and set up just in time for the party, and it was absolutely packed in my tiny apartment. We had people spilling out the front, out the back, and eventually we even had my buddy set up his DJ equipment so that way we could celebrate. One of my friends even brought a bottle of champagne for me to pop to celebrate the end of the semester.
Into our first 1L semester in the books.
Let's
This is the way there, baby.
Let's go! Let's go!
And that was my first finals week of law school. Now just 5 more.